Hello and welcome back, Una Soleil. So glad to have the opportunity to interview you again because every time it's such a highlight for me to learn about your latest project or your newest discovery. And this one, I think, is very important for the times we find ourselves in at this very moment, where the world seems to be in upheaval. We seem to be at a point where a lot of things are going to change fundamentally. And one of the most interesting times is going to be the solstice. Is it the winter solstice in December coming up? And you have planned something wonderful for that solstice. So tell us more.
Well, yes, we have on the 19th of December, we have 3i Atlas closest to the Earth. If it stays on the trajectory that it's on right now, then on the 20th, we have the new moon, which is, from what I know, a time when UFOs have great access to the Earth. It's easier for them to come in because of the sun and the Earth are in constellation at a new moon. And then on the 21st, of course, we have the Capricorn solstice. The solstice in the north is called the winter. At Mount Kenya, it's the equator. The equator runs right through Mount Kenya, and so I tend to call it the Capricorn solstice. Yes, we are in times of change, and it's been prophesied that we will be in times of change, and we can see it, we can feel it, we know it, and the indigenous people have been celebrating all sorts of ceremonies in many different ways. It's been a lot of ceremonies called the coming together of the condor and the eagle, so South America and North America coming together. There's been the 2009 ceremony up in Greenland of the sacred fire coming back to the people of the far north. And now there seems to be a new ceremony coming together at Mount Kenya, an international ceremony.
Well, what you nicely omitted is that you were an integral part, or rather, you were the reason that this ceremony in 2009 could even take place in Greenland, because nobody would believe that you could host 100 people from all over the world in Greenland, where there is basically no room or no city or no hotels or nothing where you could house these people. So will you just do a little aside and tell us what you did there?
Yes, well, it's never just one person, and it doesn't necessarily work the way we think it should work. And what happened was that the people, the Kalashlit tribe, they had this prophecy and they had no clue what it means. And the prophecy goes like this: one day when the world needs it most, the sacred fire will return to the people of the north. So they didn't know what was meant with a sacred fire. And they had lit their fires by using animal oil. They had to kill whales to have oil, to light, to cook, to have warmth. And with the climate change, they started to see that the trees were standing upright. So they could make a fire from wood again. And of course, the Eskimo knew way before the scientists knew that there once had been trees standing in Greenland. And the scientists came and they did their boreholing and they found wood way down deep in the ice. And so this shaman wanted to a ceremony, a celebration, this time of the fulfilling of the prophecy. And he went to the Smithsonian Institute, and the Smithsonian Institute sent some people up to Greenland, north of the Arctic Circle. And he said, no, there's no way we can host 100 people in a little village of 500 people. There's basically no road. How do we feed them? How do we house them? And then the American Indian Institute got involved. They sent a few people up north. They looked around. They said no. Then a private group decided to get together and organize it. And I was always sort of on the sideline, watching, observing. And then one day, and I was the assistant of this shaman. One day I heard from a person in Greenland that on the radio they had said that the ceremony was canceled 12 weeks before it was supposed to happen. And it just shot through me. Well, then I do it. And it just came, this, I had no money to do it. There was no money. Nobody had the money. I didn't know the culture. I didn't know the language. I didn't know how things worked.
But you were the assistant of the shaman.
Yes, I was.
The Greenland, one of how many shamans are there in Greenland?
Well, the culture has pretty much moved to not really having shamans. So it is rare to have someone who still carries that power. And there are some that are deeply underground.
Okay. So, but there was one still visible and you were his assistant and it shot through you that you had to do it. What everybody else said was possible to do.
Yes. And I gathered a few people around me. One person was in charge of logistics. One person was in charge of inviting shamans from around the world. One person was in charge of the food. And that's how, everybody committed and everybody worked very hard for 12 weeks and it came together. We had sangomas from South Africa. We had priests from the Shinto tradition in Japan. We had a Maori shaman. We had, of course, the North American and the South American shamans there. And there was a 3-day ceremony. It worked out somehow.
Wow. Wow. And now you got another call, just as crazy. You've been living in Kenya for the past 3 years, and you know a lot of people here around. And what happened then? What happened now?
Well, it's based on one of the prophecies or teachings, not prophecies, that of the spiritual responsibility of the people of the 4 directions. So, and I thought long and hard about it. And the teaching goes like this. It talks that we all, the black, the white, the red, and the yellow people, we all carry a spiritual responsibility, and none of us has done well. And the spiritual responsibility of the people of the East, where the sun rises and the sun is always yellow when she rises, is to take care of Mother Earth. And they were the first to rape Mother Earth and dig for precious stones, and they still do it. When the sun is at midpoint, she's always white, and so we have the white people. And when the sun is straight above us, there's no shadows. And so the spiritual responsibility of the white people is to unite the world. And we haven't done well. We have gone and plundered, colonized, and hurt people all over the world. And then the spiritual responsibility of the red people, where the sun sets and she's always red, is to create peace amongst each other. And the red are the ones whose tribes bicker most amongst each other about whose ceremony is right and whose ceremony is better. And then, of course, at night, when it's black, we have the black people, and their spiritual responsibility is to ensure that we are safe at night. And of course, they haven't done well, but we also know that this is their responsibility because we have what's called a skari. We have night guards. Everybody has a night guard. But all over the world, nobody feels safe at night and locks their doors. So I really thought very hard about what does that mean for me? And I felt that, of course, I need to create unity wherever I go. And we know this unity amongst the different directions is that that we bring the people together. So I thought very deeply about the meaning of what does this mean for the white people to create unity. It's we've ones who have traveled all over. We've built the airplanes, the trains, the boats that go all over the world. We always think of, any cookbook is likely to include menus from all over the world. We sit in the ashrams, we sit in the temples, we sit at the fires, we sit in the sweat lodges. We are naturally meant to, in these times, to bring everything together. And it's not an easy task, as I found
Not bring
in
our
Africa.
culture around the world, but bring the cultures of the world together without influencing it the way we did in the past.
Yes. And there's a lot of antagonism against the white people as a whole, because the white people have not done well. So everywhere I go, I'm very much about saying, hey, there's a difference. You have rulers, we have rulers who are not doing well. The presidents in many of the countries here are really not doing well. So bringing that across, don't be against the white people, but differentiate within the colors of the people and look at who's subjugating you. And I found just recently, I was up at Mount Kenya, and I found this woman, African woman from the leopard clan. And she absolutely knew this. She said, it's the Anglo-Saxons who are subjugating the whole world. And they moved through Europe. They burned the women at the stake. We had the Inquisition. It's everywhere in the world. The slavery, the first slaves were the Irish. It's everywhere. It's not just in one place. And we must not have the blacks against the whites or the yellow people against the red. We need to find the right people, the people who have the deep knowledge and the wisdom. And it's crucial that we do this, because otherwise we're fighting each other and we're not aware of what is truly happening here.
We could work together, and instead we are weakening each other because we are going against each other by color, and it's one of the stupidest things you can do. Look at the color of a person and decide whether you like him or not just because of the color is about as crazy as I can imagine. Especially since you lived here in Kenya for a certain amount of time, and you realize how much closer certain very black Kenyans are to your soul or to mine than certain white people coming as tourists. I don't know what to talk about with them. They're absolutely not what I would like to encounter more of.
Yeah, we're all very different. The races are different. We have different responsibilities, and we need to come together. And this is part of the prophecies. The prophecies say that in these times of trouble that we need to come together. These prophecies of the four tablets, where we know the Hopi carry one. There's one in Switzerland, and as you know, I'm Swiss and Scottish. There's one at Mount Kenya, and there's one in the Himalayas, as far as my information says.
And they need to come together in order to make a whole.
Once they come together, and they'll fit together perfectly like a puzzle, one can read what it says on these tablets.
So now what you're probably not able to bring together all the four tablets at this point in time, but what are you going to do at Mount Kenya? What are you bringing together?
Well, I'm just the organizer. This is what white people do. Right? We're very good at organizing, and that's why this has obviously been my function. And what I'm bringing together is the StarNation lodge, the StarNation sweat lodge from northern Canada, from the a specific clan within the Anishinaabe nation. I had the privilege of taking part in one of their lodges when I was up in the north of Canada, and they have opened their ceremony and taught it to two people, Jose from Mexico and Aiste from Lithuania. And they are coming to Mount Kenya to do a series of lodges with the people, bringing that lodge to this land. And the lodge is very much connected to the white lion. The tradition of the StarNation the lodge speaks about the white lion being the only one willing to walk with the creator. And the creator, the creator, okay, so this is where I start putting puzzle pieces together. So I've read the Enki tablets, and we all know about Enki and Enlil and the brothers, the Anunnaki. So Enki was the one who in Africa genetically created the human being. It took him 800 years to get it just right. And so we have Enki. Now the Kikuyu from Mount Kenya, the Kikuyu tribe, their god is called Ngai. And the Maasai, who are also further afield but around Mount Kenya, their god is called Enkai. So we have Enki, Ngai, Enkai. And when I realized that, I realized these are not fairy tales, these are not legends, these are not myths. This is very, very, very real. And we can access the original truth of what is happening. Just like we need to come together, bring the knowledge from the four different directions together. And I had this experience just a few days ago. I'm sitting there with Waruguru from the leopard tribe, the leopard clan, and she's giving me so much information, and I'm connecting that information with what I know from my travels. It's all fitting together like little puzzle pieces. Right. Where was that? Enki, Engai, Enkai, and the seat. So, of course, we have lions here in Kenya. And so you can imagine.
The amazing thing is the white lion tale comes from the very far north in Canada, where in our history there was no way lions could have lived in Canada. But then Mount Kenya is famous for white, I don't know whether it has a white lion, but it has white zebras. And what other animal is white in Mount Kenya, which normally is it a leopard?
The white rhino.
The white rhino.
There's a black leopard that recently appeared at Mount Kenya. The white lions, the first white lion that we know of was born in South Africa. And so now there's several white lions in Africa. And there's a line from the pyramids through Kenya down to South Africa, where it is said that the white lion walked.
So Mount Kenya is the place to bring together traditions from the north of Canada with their sweat lodge knowledge. And what else are you bringing together for the ceremony on the 19th to 21st, or rather from the 14th to...
It's going to be a very small event. We do still have spaces for people who feel called to come. What the sweat lodge does is it knocks on the door to open portals. And if we knock loud enough, then the things can come through the portal that are needed at this time in the world. Things like love, things like respect, things like unity. And so this is a beginning in Africa for that. But at the same time, there's we know that there are already portals at Mount Kenya. I know from certain documents that there are said to be 6 particular stargates in the northern hemisphere and 6 particular stargates in the southern hemisphere. Now, Kenya is on the equator. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen during these days and in those lodges. What we do know is that there's very powerful energy to be built and to be connected and to be brought to Kenya to combine with what the knowledge is here in Africa. And there is deep knowledge, and it's very, very, very hidden. I did receive some of this knowledge. It's just a tiny, tiny pinch of it that, of course, I can't speak about here now. But it's like the door has just opened just a tiny little crack. And we'll see what happens when we have those 10 days of being together.
You were called, or rather, a group was called to do this ceremony, especially on it's a holy mountain, Mount Kenya. And it's supposed to be the beginning of humankind, where everything started even. So you're bringing together different cultures for a ceremony to open a stargate. 3i Atlas is coming along just in time. Who else is coming?
Well,
Oh, what else do you need?
We don't know whether we'll open a portal, especially because there already is one installed. We'll see what actually happens, what information does come through. You never know in advance. There's also an aspect. When I went there just a few days ago, I was approached by a woman who carries the same teachings as I've seen in other places and heard of in other places, of grandmothers of the 4 directions come together and speak. And who knows, maybe it'll happen this time.
So you yourself are a shaman in the lineage of Star Fuentes, which is a curandero lineage in Mexico.
Yes.
You have someone here who is from the leopard tribe, bringing knowledge. That seems very familiar to you. You are well connected with the Greenland shamanic traditions, and again, northern Canada, where there is a very certain type of sweat lodge, different from many other sweat lodges, that is more prone to open portals. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And
Yes.
basically, you're gathering a group of powerful people, and they will know when they hear this interview whether they are one of them or not. And they will be called to come. Is that somewhat correctly stated, or what would you want to add?
Well, no, that's absolutely correct. We don't know yet of all the people that will be here. It's a calling, and people might feel it, or they might start doubting themselves. And please don't doubt yourselves. If you feel the calling, don't let your mind take over. If it is for you, you'll get through all the obstacles, whether it's not wanting to fly, whether it's your children or Christmas or Hanukkah or the money or the time and the dogs, the cats, or the children. You will, if it's right for you, you will be able to come.
So when exactly does it take place? What is
It's
the
from
exact
the
date?
13th to the 23rd. It's 10 days. Yeah.
And it's a place up on Mount Kenya where the temperatures are very nice during daytime with a sweater and a light whatever. And at night it gets a bit cooler.
Yes, it's a bit fresh, so it's good to bring sweaters, and uh, a hot water bottle is what I carry when I when I go to Mount Kenya for the nighttime. It's much nicer weather than on the coast where I am now, where it's almost too hot at some
Yeah,
times of the year. But
yeah.
yeah, no, very nice weather, and that's also why there's lots of white people at and around Mount Kenya. For example, the British military is there. There's
Makes you start wondering, what does the British military do in Kenya that has been independent for I don't know how many years? Why do they still have British military here? And but what I heard is British royalty still owns a lot of terrain on Mount Kenya.
yes,
And
Mount Kenya is huge, and it's not well known even to the people who live there. But there's a lot of aristocrats who have their homes there, who come there every once in a while. And yes, the British royalty come there once a year to pray and do their thing. It's an extremely powerful, very important mountain. It's a she, as I was told. There's, what else can I say? I've got to be a little bit careful here. So yes, Prince William proposed to Kate Middleton on Mount Kenya, and Prince Elizabeth II, she was here in Kenya when her father died, and she had to be flown home to the funeral and become queen. So these are maybe some of the highlights of the British royalty being here. And so there's a lot of different forces at play around this. And you talked about the independence. So there's this official narrative of Kenya having gained independence. And the great hero of that independence movement is said to be Jomo Kenyatta. Now, Jomo Kenyatta was married to an English woman, and there are Kenyans who feel they've been betrayed. And the independence movement, they used the caves of Mount Kenya. They hid in the caves. So these and Mount Kenya has waterfalls and lakes, and it's a beautiful and huge mountain. You can go walking there for weeks.
And it's a very mysterious mountain, as it seems. And it's a
Yes,
powerful mountain, energetically speaking.
very powerful. Anyone who feels a little bit of energy, you go there and you can feel it. When I first went there and I felt that energy, to me it was always like I can't quite put my finger on it. It's not like Mount Shasta and you have UFOs flying in and out, or other impressive mountains that I've seen in Switzerland and so on. There's something different there, and I wanted to know. I want to find out what exactly it is. And as I did my own spiritual work, also together with Mudoni, my here in Kenya of the Kikuyu tribe, it became very clear that there is a portal there, and that was, and I heard that again just now when I was up there with some of the elders. It's a very different feeling from other mountains. Yes.
And so together with them who are familiar and are basically they come from Mount Kenya, you have found a spot where you're going to house the people. I mean, you have to build a sweat lodge and you're repeating the ceremony for 7 days. And there's one house with I don't know how many rooms very close by, and then but it's not a village. There's no hotel. So how do you house the people? What can they expect if they want to participate?
It's we're doing it on private land, and people will get an Airbnb type room. It will be fully taken care of, just like a normal Airbnb, basically, is what is happening. And the place where we are doing the lodge itself on private land, there's altogether 4 rooms. So you can realize if you want to be very, very close to this, there's not that many spaces. There's a place just a very short walking distance down the road where there's another few rooms. And then the rooms further afield would be a little more difficult.
Okay, so it's catered for the food. Are they bringing in food for you to eat, or how does that work?
The tribe, the Kikuyu, are taking care of the food. It's a community thing, so we'll all be working together. It's about a circle, not one person doing everything, but everybody contributing in their own way, which is the only way I could do it in Greenland. Everyone had to work, and everybody had to contribute also financially. And it's the same thing here. Everybody will be part of carrying the wood. It will be part of, we'll see who wants to cook, and we cook together. It's a community that we're building, and we need that coherence within the community to be really, really strong in the sweat lodge to get that door opened at least a little bit, a little crack.
Well, you have one big advantage. You're very good friends with Mutoni, and she is Kikuyu from a long tradition of medicine men, medicine women, and Mount Kenya is Kikuyu country. The tribe,
yes,
usually those are the people who live there. And of course, they know all the ins and outs of that mountain way better than anybody coming from afar. And she's helping you, or the whole tradition stands behind this ceremony to help along with it. So I find that's very helpful for a powerful movement which you're trying to create.
it's really not me creating it. It's me doing the logistics to the different people. I'm talking to the Star Lodge people. I'm doing the white thing, right? The white thing of organizing and unifying. But it's what I experienced at Mount Kenya, the wisdom, the knowledge, of that energy. It's not to be underestimated, I would say. It really is not to be underestimated. Yeah, the spirits here are very, very present, and many people who are in tune will come across these spirits. Absolutely.
And I have a feeling that the orchestration of who is coming is done by spheres beyond our normal reach within our consciousness, and anybody who feels within his consciousness that he or she is being called, that's the people who you need, or that's the people who are going to make this ceremony as powerful as can be to really open a portal, even if it's only for a little streak of light to move into the next phase of human evolution, I think.
Yes, absolutely. It's these times that we are in where, yeah, we need to be part of this movement and help it along as spirit guides us.
Do you have
Just
some
as
kind
spirits
of
guide us.
pictures or something we can look at before you leave us?
Yeah.
Can
Let
you
me
show us
share my
something?
screen. I'm working on all of this. So, yeah, this is Mount Kenya in the morning, and the sun hasn't risen above the mountain yet. So, yeah, it's beautiful, it's powerful, it's vast. The other thing I can say is that the Kikuyu, what I've been told now, is that the pygmies were here first. The pygmies lived in the forests around the mountain. And one day, suddenly, from one day to the next, the pygmies had disappeared. And the pygmies were the ones who really instructed the Kikuyu on healing and other things like that. And so one day this disappeared, and they disappeared because they knew that the Anglo-Saxons were coming. And so they moved to the Congo from there. That's what I was told. Oh, and here you can see a picture of, this is Mudoni, and this is the woman from the leopard clan with so much knowledge and so much power. Then we have Aiste and Jose, who will be coming to bring the StarNation Lodge to Africa for the very first time, to the cradle of humanities. And I've been using this picture of a white lion, the mighty white lion. And, you know, this is, here we have a humanoid lion figure. It's said to be, I think they said about 30,000 years old. It's made from mammoth tooth, and it was found in Germany in a cave in Germany. So this is a lion head with a human body. And when we talk about the white lion having walked with the creator, which is the story that the Anishinaabe carry, the lion walking with the creator, perhaps it was a humanoid lion. And him being the best friend.
I don't even know how to pronounce this. The Anishinaabe, they're a tribe in northern Canada.
Yeah, they're quite spread out. The Star Lodge comes from a particular clan from the Anishinaabe, and it's there that they carry the knowledge about the white lion. And it's said that when the white lion, the best friend of the creator, passed, the creator created the white lion pipe. And so this tribe in North America, in North Canada, they carry the white lion pipe in honor of the best friend of the creator.
Mm.
And, you know, when we talk about these things, this here is a 16th century animal encyclopedia. Excuse me. And this is a scientific book, and we have unicorns in there. It's just, you know, we think of this as myths and legends, but they actually existed.
Yeah, and a flying lion. I mean, a lion with wings.
Yes, a griffin.
A griffin.
And so, you know, why do we have griffins all over Europe? We have griffin statues and griffin fountains. That would be another talk.
Yeah, well, some of the history obviously got lost. Wasn't told to us, and we still have these relics, but we don't know what it is and where it comes from because nobody wanted us to know.
Yes, 1580, something changed in the world.
Okay.
Let me also just show you the crest of the United Kingdom, the military crest or the royal crest. Dieu est mon droit, God and my right. Now, how do you interpret that? God and my right. And we have the yellow lion and we have the white unicorn. The white unicorn stands for Scotland, white for purity. The old name for Scotland, or the Gaelic name for Scotland, is Alba, and it means white. So Dieu est mon droit, God and my right, and honi soit qui mal y pense, which means shame on the ones who think bad of me. And the most interesting thing here really is that the unicorn is in shackles.
Yeah.
And yeah, so we've got the English lion, we've got the Scottish unicorn in shackles, and it's time to free the unicorn.
Yeah, and
in these times of change
and who wrote Honi soit qui mal y pense? Seems like that's the British lion who doesn't want us to think individually.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, you know, as I listen and travel and share and see, there's so much information, so many puzzle pieces.
Dieu est mon droit. meaning God is my right. That means something like I am God. Whatever God
Well,
can
that's
do,
an
I can
interesting
do.
one.
Pardon me?
Well, it's an interesting one because it says God and my right, et.
Okay.
But perhaps it's a misspelling. And it actually means, because it sounds the
Yes.
same, est in French. God is my right. Absolutely, because it is allowed to move letters around when you're looking for the truth.
Well, I mean, I've been traveling around the world half of my life into English colonies, and the British were really a colonial force who conquered 3/4 of the world and brought out the best of these countries they conquered, brought them home, whatever they liked, and it seems very godlike what they did and how they did it. But that's only my
So I
personal
think,
opinion and not official.
well, nothing is official here, but we're tracing things. Now, what the leopard clan woman said to me, which I felt for a long time also, is that it's not the British, it's the Anglo-Saxons.
Okay,
So
that's
the
the difference, yes.
Anglo-Saxons moved into Britain, where we had the Druids, they enslaved the Irish. It was huge, the slaves they made out of the Irish. Same thing in Scotland, the clearances, where they sent everyone to the colonies to work in the colonies and just cleared out big parts of Scotland. It's the Anglo-Saxons. And if you Google the Anglo-Saxon mission by Bill Riley from Project Avalon, that's a very interesting take on the Anglo-Saxon mission.
Okay, learning something new. Back to our our real focus. Anything we forgot to talk about? A sweat lodge retreat, opening a portal at a time when everything is changing.
I think we
Anything you want?
covered it all. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to contact me anytime. Best thing is via email.
And of
Yeah.
course, I'll post all the links below this interview on YouTube,
Yeah.
so you can look it up. Thank you very much, Una, and thank you very much, our audience or my audience, for listening. And if you want to do me a favor, please give me a like or join the channel or just use my PayPal link. I can use it. Thank you very much, and until next time.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Astrid.
Welcome.